Let's get a look at that forecast. Here's meteorologist David Rogers.
Hi, Jen and Matt. Thanks. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Safety first. You know, we've dealt with the snow, but when you have that combination that will transition over to sleet, freezing rain, and eventually rain, you know, you get a little icy out there. You want to be on the safe side. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for much of the area until 10 o'clock tonight. We'll see that rain shower activity by tonight, and then a pretty quick warm-up. We're talking upper 50s to low 60s by tomorrow. Good morning, Madison. You're getting some snow right now. The snow lifting from the south to the north. 30 in Madison, 30 in Charlottesville. Wintergreen, loving the snow there. They're currently at 20. Here's a live scan of our exclusive dual-pole triple Doppler radar. We've already seen about 1 to 2 inches of snow across the area. Everybody kind of getting that snow right now. By the time we start to see that transition of sleet and freezing rain, Charlottesville south and east about 2 to 5 inches of accumulating snow. Higher amounts as you head across the valley. Northern Piedmont 5 to as much as 8. And of course, lesser amounts the closer you get to the Metro Richmond area. Again, we've got warm air aloft. It's gradually going to work down to the surface. And again, that's when we expect to see that to transition later today. So take it slow and easy. If you can stay home, certainly a good idea to do that. 34 will be your high today in Charlottesville. Dylan, you'll get up to 34 and 33 for Harrisonburg. Coming up, we will take a detailed look at your NBC29 7-day forecast. I'll also have this morning sunrise stumper question. Matt and Jen, back to you.
Okay, thank you, David. We are bracing for all that winter weather to make it tough to get around throughout most of the day.
The storm is causing concern for drivers, of course, already this morning. NBC29's Caroline Colburn is live at 5th Street in Charlottesville, Albemarle County this morning with an update on the road conditions.
Matt, Jen, good morning. Well, yeah, our drive over from downtown Charlottesville towards 5th Street was not as difficult as the drive on 64 this morning. And actually, some of this snow has turned a little bit wetter. It's more of a rain now. It's not as heavy as it was earlier. Take a live look at 5th Street right here. You can see the road is a little bit clearer here. You can definitely tell the difference between the shoulder and the roadways. And there were lots of cars already headed out this morning. We've also seen several snowplows busy working to try to clear up the area. I think there's actually one coming here right now. Not actually plowing, but obviously headed somewhere to try to do that. We're going to remind you, if you don't have to head out today, please stay at home because the roads are still dangerous and they're expected to probably stay dangerous for most of the day. Now, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to stay in Albemarle County and show you some of the conditions near the Barracks Road Shopping Center area of the county. Stay with us.
Children all across Central Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley are celebrating today because they got another one of those snow days off school.
I want to be a kid again
yeah.
and get a snow day.
No snow days here.
No, never. Most of the viewing area is still under a winter storm warning. This is a look at the intersection of Route 29 North and Route 33 in Ruckersville. Now, the roads look pretty clear. They're free of snow, but it could get slick this evening when we get a refreeze. Storm Team 29 meteorologist Allie Baines with a look at what we can all expect. This is your first forecast at noon. Hi, Allie.
Hi, Sharon and Matt. Yes, we started out the morning with a little bit of snow. Most places stayed in that 2 to 5 inch range. Sleet started a little bit earlier than expected, so a lot of these numbers on the lower end of the spectrum, but still over 3 inches here in Charlottesville, about 3.2 in Weir's Cave, 2.5 in Palmyra, 3.5 in Madison, about 4.5 over on Afton Mountain. Now on the Doppler radar right now, while all the snow is up to the north, we're now starting to see sleet and freezing rain starting to mix in. Sleet occurring in the valley and portions of Central Virginia, while that freezing rain is starting to occur on those higher elevations. So even though the snow is over, we'll still be dealing with some wintry precipitation really throughout the rest of the afternoon. Now eventually, as temperatures warm, as they will be rising after this evening into the overnight, we will see a switch over to rain. But until then, we still have winter storm warnings and advisories, and some ice accumulation is still possible. I'll have more details coming up in your main weather segment. Matt and Sharon.
Okay, thank you, Allie. That weather is causing some hazardous conditions on the roadways across Central Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley.
VDOT and state police are warning people, if you don't have to travel, please do not until the storm clears. NBC29's Lowell Rose joining us in Albemarle County with an update on all of the wintry weather.
Hey there, Matt and Sharon. We're here at the VDOT headquarters in Albemarle County, which has had crews working all night to make sure roads are passable. Now, if you just take a look behind me at Route 250, we're just east of the Pantop area, and the roads are pretty much in good conditions, but you should be careful.
Well, most of us saw a good chunk of snow this morning. Here's a picture from one of our viewers in Fluvanna of their little toy plow helping move some of that snow around. Unfortunately, not so much snow falling right now. More sleet and freezing rain across the region. As of this moment, we're seeing sleet really across some of our northern counties into Madison, areas of Greene County over into Orange County, and then freezing rain here in Charlottesville and Albemarle County, and some of those higher elevations also seeing that freezing rain. The snow has now moved to the north, only maybe sections of Culpeper County still seeing some of that snow. The rest of us dealing with that wintry mix, and that could cause some ice accumulations as all of this does turn over to freezing rain later in the day. Now eventually temperatures will be warming enough that we will see this transition over to all rain, and this cold front back to the west will push through some more moisture as we head into this evening and into our overnight hours. So again, most of us dealing with that sleet and freezing rain throughout our early afternoon hours. This will become more showery as we head into the evening hours, so not quite all of us seeing that freezing rain and sleet, but still some pockets of it around. And then eventually temperatures will actually warming as we head into the overnight hours. So all of this going to turn over to rain, pretty much the scattered variety of rain, but we could see a couple of downpours as this moves eastward. And then as we move into Thursday morning, still a couple of isolated showers, but we'll see a drying trend, and especially as we go into Thursday afternoon, sunshine will return and temperatures will actually be boosted up into the 60s for some of us. So all of that wintry precip from today will melt come tomorrow. And then on Friday, we'll start to see those clouds increase, and we'll track another system. This will come into as mainly rain and take us through the weekend. Before this afternoon, with that freezing rain occurring, we could see some ice accumulation on top of the snow we already saw today. I think most of us will see between 1/10 to 2/10, but those mountains could see upwards of 1/4 inch of ice, and that could certainly take down some tree limbs. So continue to just take it easy on those roadways and be cautious when traveling this afternoon. Temperatures today will hover near that freezing mark, about 31 to 34, that wintry mix eventually changing over to all rain. Now temperatures will actually rise going through the overnight. We'll start out with temperatures again steadily near that freezing mark. Eventually we'll see that change over to all rain, and then tomorrow, certainly a much milder day. We'll see all of that wintry precip and snow beginning to melt. 56 to 62 for your daytime high tomorrow. What a difference a day can make. On your Michael and Son 7-day forecast will be a little bit cooler come Friday. Another system will bring rain that will take us into our Saturday, still hovering right around that mid-40 mark. And then by Sunday, even warmer. We'll see temperatures near 70 degrees for most of us. So a little taste of winter before we get to more seasonal weather, and then eventually more spring-like weather. So a little bit of a weather roller coaster coming our way. I mean, what a difference, like I said, a day can make from 34 today to 61 tomorrow.
The slush on Route 29 south of Charlottesville may be to blame for a string of accidents. Right now, the northbound lanes are closed near Plank Road in North Garden. And for that reason, it is advisable to take it easy if you have to be out and about.
You bet. Eric Pritchett is here with a quick look at our temperatures right now.
Hey there, Sharon and Steve. We're dealing with freezing rain. Ice is not nice, but that creates a glaze and coating on untreated elevated surfaces, and that's what most of the region is still dealing with. Some locations are just above freezing. Most locations are flirting with that or still below. We've still got a couple more hours of this, so we have ongoing weather advisories, winter storm warnings that continue until 10 o'clock because temperatures are basically borderline, and you can see many locations at or just below freezing. So that's going to continue for a few more hours here tonight before temperatures slowly rise through the 30s. I'll have a closer check on our forecast when I join you a bit later.
But first tonight, snow, sleet, freezing rain. We are seeing all of it today across central Virginia. We have you covered with complete Storm Team 29 coverage.
Live in high definition from the area's most experienced news team. This is NBC29 HD News at 6.
The wet, messy weather closed schools and businesses, and so far, Virginia State Police have responded to nearly 500 crashes and more than 300 disabled vehicles because of the winter weather.
Yeah, the storm is slowly making its way out of here, but the slick conditions will hang around a little bit longer. Meteorologist Eric Pritchett is tracking the storm for us today. Hi, Eric.
Hey there, Casey and Steve. Yeah, I wish I could say we're finished with this storm, but we are not. Of course, this morning we had the snow. Many of us would have liked to have seen a little bit more, but nonetheless, the icing. And what you're seeing here on the radar, that pink area, that is mainly freezing rain. That glazes untreated elevated surfaces and causes very slick conditions. And going through the next few hours, we could still see an additional accretion on untreated elevated surface, maybe a tenth or a little more. Winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories remain in place until 10 o'clock this evening. And you can see local temperatures are either at or just below freezing, kind of borderline, but still enough to cause some issues. So if you must venture out, which if you can avoid it, certainly do so, because we are dealing with the icing. Freezing rain and rain. Temperatures slowly rise as we go through late tonight and the early morning hours of Thursday. When I come back, I think you'll like what's in store for Thursday. We'll have more on that a bit later.
All right, hope so. Thanks, Eric.
Well, still a wet, kind of nasty night out there.
Yeah, there's hope. There's hope on the other side of the rainbow, but it's kind of hard to see the rainbow at this point.
Yes, it is. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Steve and Casey, we're not there yet. We dealt with the first part of the storm, which was the snow, and most of that fell very early this morning, pre-dawn, and kind of tapered off 8, 9 o'clock. Most locations saw around 3 inches plus or minus. There was a few locations that saw a little bit more, but after the snow, then we transitioned over to sleet, and then we've been dealing with sleet and mainly freezing rain this afternoon. A couple of pictures. Here's always nice to see the cardinals or the birds out trying to get some food, and hopefully you can feed them if you're able to. Warren Fault from Augusta County captured that shot, and here's a shot of the ice that's encasing those untreated elevated surfaces. Obviously this is a branch, but you can see that layer of ice, and that's what's causing problems. That's the freezing rain, just glazes over things and certainly causes slick conditions. How about Julia Ritchie finding this albino deer, pretty neat in the snow. And then Jim Carpenter captured this little scene. These look like bubbles. It looks like the snow melted, and then as the freezing rain fell on it, it kind of trapped those little blotches of melted snow. Pretty neat. So we've got winter storm warnings that continue, winter weather advisories that continue, and most of these go until 10 o'clock tonight. So still hazardous conditions out there. If you can avoid travel, you don't need to be out. Certainly stay at home, but we're still dealing with that freezing rain. It could still cause anywhere from a trace, maybe upwards to a tenth of an inch or a little more. Some of us have already received that in some locations. Right now, temperatures are either at or just below freezing across much of the region. The airport's at 34 degrees. There are some areas that are above freezing. Wintergreen's at 33, and you may have a temperature around 34 degrees or so. But again, most of this is what's showing up in the pink is freezing rain, and that's still going to continue for several more hours here this evening, and then it kind of tapers off to more scattered rain showers. Temperatures will continue to rise, but it'll take a while. It's a slow process to scour out low-level cold air. The atmosphere is warm above us, but the surface, it's kind of marginal. So temperatures will continue to slowly rise. Here's a depiction with one of the models around 1 a.m. in the morning. Most locations are continuing to rise. And then tomorrow's a much improved day. How about temperatures anywhere from the mid-50s to low 60s with the return of some sunshine. So again, Thursday is really nice. We cloud up again, more rain on Friday, and that'll take us into the weekend as well. Temperatures will be chillier. We could be looking at another inch or more of rain, something we really don't need. Main storm is lifting up toward the Great Lakes. We're again south of a warm front that lifts through overnight. And then a cold front will work through midday tomorrow, but we're going to warm out ahead of it, and that's what will make for a nice day tomorrow. But in the meantime, you can see that chilly wedge of air east of the Appalachians, a setup that's very familiar around these parts. But look what happens tomorrow. We jump into the 50s and low 60s, but it is a one-day special. We're back into the 40s by Friday and the start of the weekend. So here we go with more additional freezing rain this evening, and then that kind of tapers off. It's more in the way of scattered showers really after midnight, and temperatures continuing to rise into the morning hours, and westerly winds tomorrow allowing temperatures to climb in the mid-50s and lower 60s. Then we cloud up again. Could see a few showers Friday morning, but I think a better chance as we get into Friday evening, Friday night, and into Saturday. So for several more hours, we're still dealing with freezing rain and then just rain as temperatures slowly rise. But if you have to be out, certainly use caution. Michael & Son's 7-day forecast showing you the temperature jump for tomorrow as we make a run into the 50s and low 60s, and then we're back to rain here on Friday and Saturday. Saturday could be wet, certainly, with maybe an inch or more of rainfall, something we really don't need. Most of the showers on Sunday look to be early in the morning, breezy and warmer. How about 60s to maybe near 70, and then we'll dry out for the first part of next week. So temperature fluctuations ahead and more rain chances ahead.
All right. Thanks for a little bit of everything, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.